Up close to terror. We're hearing more from some of the people who were there when that bomb went off at an Ariana Grande concert in England. Today, ISIS taking responsibility for the suicide mission that took 22 lives, including children as young as 8 years old. Also ahead, new plans to combat delays at Penn Station. Local leaders mapping out their approach to those much-needed summer repairs. And no soup for you, a New York icon in hot water, while the CFO for the Soup Man brand is in trouble with the law. And good afternoon, I'm David Navarro.
And I'm Liz Cho. We're going to have much more on those stories in just a minute, but we're going to begin this afternoon with breaking news, and it has to do with your ride home. Traffic has been brought to a crawl on a stretch of Route 78 in Berkeley Heights, New Jersey. A car apparently slammed into a guardrail. You can see it right there in these live pictures from Newscopter 7. Shannon Sona's over the scene with the very latest. Shannon.
Yeah, and Liz, you can see that front tire is actually hanging over the guardrail in the median that separates the westbound side of Route 78 from the eastbound side. Look at the tire marks where it came off the roadway and how far it went before it hit into that guardrail. All of this happening on the westbound side of Route 78, and because of it, you've got the left lane taken out with the emergency activity. And we're just going to bring this shot back and show you with Street Spotter 7. That is where exit 40 is, right on the bottom part of your screen. And now let's show you what it is doing to traffic, because you can even see some eastbound rubbernecking despite the fact that no lanes are blocked. Look at that all the way off into the distance. That is how far back your delays go beyond Route 24, and unfortunately getting worse by the moment. If you can take it down to Route 78, that is going to treat you a lot better, or rather Route 22, because Route 78 is going to be down and out for the count this afternoon. Reporting live over a jam-packed Route 78 over Somerset County, rather. Shannon Sohn, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Shannon, keep us posted. Thank you. We're going to turn now to Manchester, where investigators this afternoon raided a home. It is believed to be the home of the suicide bomber. Police conducted a controlled explosion at the house in Manchester, which is located just 3 miles away from the attack site. Investigators took at least one person away in handcuffs. This afternoon, police are identifying that suicide bomber as 22-year-old Salman Abedi. One of the key priorities of this investigation is trying to figure out, did he have any help?
All this as we learn more about the victims and get a clearer picture of just what happened in the moments just after that blast ripped through that arena. Today, signs of outpouring of heartbreak and resilience in Manchester as people there gather to remember the victims and show solidarity in this time of crisis. Our coverage begins with Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger live in Manchester. Josh.
David, at this hour, not even 24 hours after this tragedy unfolded a couple of miles away from where I'm standing here in Albert Square, resilience really is the story. A couple of hours ago, thousands of people packed into this square, and you can actually see them in the side there of the square. There's still a crowd. There's live music. I don't know, somewhat of a deep breath this city has taken in the face of such awful tragedy. In the center of Manchester this afternoon, a moment of silence, a moment of despair. Not a day after this happy, laid-back city, one of England's largest, faced its worst fear. Officials say 22-year-old Salman Abedi positioned himself in a strategic spot, a crowded connector between the Manchester Arena and the city's Victoria Station.
At first, we all thought it was a balloon, and oh, it's just a balloon, and why is everyone running? And then we just went up the stairs trying to find our mums, and on the tannoy, people were saying, oh, don't worry, just leave in calm, in a calm order, and just don't panic. And then when we got up the stairs, the smell of smoke was getting strong.
It was just chaos, just utter chaos and frightening, just terrifying.
I feel for all those families and all those children that have gone to see that idol, you know, and they're just gone for a good night out, and this is how it's ended.
Officials say 22-year-old Salman Abedi positioned himself in a strategic spot, a crowded connector between the Manchester Arena and the city's Victoria train station. And when the pop concert ended and thousands of teenagers emerged, he blew himself up. The Islamic State claimed responsibility for the bombing that killed 22 people and injured scores more. The youngest known fatality, just 8 years old.
Give everybody a hug and give a cheer for Manchester.
practically no one went to work in Manchester today. Instead, in this city of 2.5 million, they wept and they hugged. And they vowed they'd never give in to fear. There is clearly a defiant tone that is emerging now about a day after this disaster. You might hear some people cheering the live music alongside this public square, but don't let that mistake the agony, the agonizing weight many people still have. Coming up on Eyewitness News at 5 tonight, you'll meet two people who are desperate for answers about what happened to their friend who was at that concert last night and from whom they've heard nothing since. We'll have that when I see you at 5. For now, we're live in Manchester. Josh Oniger, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Josh. Your heart breaks for those families. And as we said, investigators are naming a 22-year-old Manchester man as the suicide bomber. Eyewitness News reporter Jim Hoffer here with the details on that part of the story. Jim.
Investigators are working round the clock, tracing the movements of the suicide bomber, establishing his contacts, trying to learn every detail they can about him, all in an effort to determine whether he acted alone or as part of a wider terrorist plot. SWAT teams spent the day raiding homes in the Manchester neighborhood where the suicide bomber lived. He's been identified as 22-year-old Salman Abedi, whose parents were Libyan refugees. Authorities are scrambling to figure out if it's possible that Britain's worst terror attack in 12 years was the murderous actions of one young man.
Our priority, along with the police counter-terrorist network and our security partners, is to continue to establish whether he was acting alone or working as part of a wider network.
In the evidence-gathering raids, police arrested a 23-year-old man in connection with the attack. Police also had to use their own explosives to gain access to the home where the suicide bomber lived.
A controlled explosion to gain entry, and again, I just wish to reassure those communities that was something that we were doing to gain safe access.
Remnants of the explosive device used will provide investigators with key clues as to whether Abedi built the bomb himself or had help.
All they would need is the homemade explosives.
Art Gordon is head of Tripwire Operations, which provides explosives training for law enforcement. Do you think that Abedi acted alone, or do you think he might have had some help?
In my opinion, he's probably loosely associated with some others who either made the device or helped him make the device. I think that's what we find a lot of times.
What we do know about Salman Abedi is that he was born in Manchester in 1994. He was the second youngest of 4 children. His parents fled the regime of Libya's dictator Muammar Gaddafi. One British newspaper claims neighbors saw him chanting Islamic prayers loudly in the street outside his home days before the massacre.
They've taken a second suspect into custody, so they must have known who this person was and who his associates were.
Investigators also say that Abedi went to a public high school in Manchester and worked at a local mosque there. Neighbors say the family often displayed the Libyan flag outside their home. Of greatest concern to British intelligence tonight is that a suicide bomb suggests a level of sophistication that usually requires assistance. And that, investigators fear, could mean that other bombs were made. Liz?
That is a frightening thought. Jim, thank you. Well, we are also hearing more about the chaotic scene in the moments immediately following last night's explosion. 2 witnesses described the scene on Good Morning America.
I heard the massive bang, and then everyone, as fast as they could, were trying to run away, and they were all screaming and crying, and I just wanted to get out. I'm numb now because I've just cried so much over the past 12 hours. It's just been horrendous.
Both girls say their bags were searched before they went into the stadium for the concert, but officials say the bombing occurred just outside the security checkpoint. The pop group Take has now postponed its concerts it had scheduled at the arena on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and the American rock band Blondie has canceled its concert in London tonight to show respect for the victims of last night's attack. And so many people are expressing their condolences today, even former President Obama. He tweeted this afternoon, "Our hearts go out to those killed and wounded in Manchester. Americans will always stand shoulder to shoulder with the people of the UK."
Well, out of an abundance of caution, security has stepped up across New York City as well. The extra NYPD presence hard to miss in areas like Times Square and Madison Square Garden. Governor Cuomo ordered state law enforcement agencies to step up patrols at airports, bridges, tunnels, and transit hubs. As for how, on the long term, the Manchester attack will affect counterterrorism, Mayor de Blasio says the police department have officials stationed across the world to study these incidents.
We've learned a lot from each attack, and we've changed our approach after each attack. Literally, almost every time there is something to learn and to make an adjustment on.
The mayor also criticized President Trump's budget, which calls for massive calls to national security spending. Well, we're continuing to update the story on the Eyewitness News app. That's also where we'll post any new information about the victims, as well as the latest on the people behind the bombing. Well, President Trump is in Europe at this hour as he continues his first foreign visit as president. He arrived in Rome this afternoon with the First Lady and his delegation. Mr. Trump will meet with Pope Francis tomorrow at the Vatican. Earlier today, he met with Palestinian Authority leader Mahmoud Abbas in Bethlehem. He wrapped up his visit to the Middle East by giving a speech in Israel with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at his side. A former CIA director, John Brennan, testified today that there was enough contacts between Russia and the Trump campaign to warrant an investigation. Brennan told the House Intelligence Committee that he was concerned about the number of contacts between Americans involved with the Trump campaign and the Russians. Brennan said he was so concerned he warned other intel groups about the issue last July. Today, he stopped short, though, of saying there was any proof of collusion.
I was aware of intelligence and information about contacts between Russian officials and U.S. persons that raised concerns in my mind about whether or not those individuals were cooperating with the Russians either in a witting or unwitting fashion.
Also today, Director of National Intelligence Dan Coats would not confirm or deny a Washington Post report that said President Trump asked him to publicly deny any collusion between Russia and his campaign.
Well, the other major story out of Washington today, the president's budget. It's estimated $4.1 trillion and set to begin the fiscal year October 1st. And there's a whole lot of cuts already earmarked. The Affordable Care Act, known as Obamacare, Medicaid, food stamps, student loan subsidies, highway funding, and the EPA. More money would be dedicated for the 6-week Paid Parental Leave Act, federal infrastructure, and defense.
The name on the cover is the New Foundation for American Greatness. It struck me that the title should have been different, that the title should have been a taxpayer first budget.
Well, there's been heavy criticism from Democrats who say that the budget is dead on arrival. This tweet says it all. Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon tweeted a photo of the budget already in the recycle bin. And New York Senator Chuck Schumer called the budget plan, quote, fantasy math. Stay tuned.
It was the soup that a sitcom made famous. Now, possible legal trouble for New York Soup Man, why one of the company's leaders is in court today. Plus, remembering 007, a look back on the career of actor Roger Moore.
He was so cool. I'm meteorologist Lee Goldberg. A decent afternoon despite cloud cover. It's mild outside, but we are looking at some rain on radar. I'll let you know when you need the umbrella, and there's more rain where this came from. I'll look at your holiday weekend AccuWeather forecast. That's coming up.
And as we go to the break, signs of hope in Manchester today. People there using signs, candles, even chalk to show their support and solidarity. We'll be right back.
When it's 5 o'clock, you're busy, and so are we.
Channel 7 Eyewitness News, gathering the latest breaking news with reporters live across the tri-state. Sade Badaranois, Diana Williams, and Lee Goldberg with AccuWeather. Eyewitness News at 5.
Tonight, 8/7 Central. See Downward Dog at its regular day and time.
You want to maybe move a little bit? Okay, I'll just squeeze on through then.
Catch new episodes all summer.
Honestly, I'm kind of excited.
Downward Dog, tonight 8/7 Central on ABC.
Bethpage Federal Credit Union, New York's leading credit union, is now operating throughout the tri-state area. We offer all the financial products and services the big banks offer, but with great rates, fewer fees, and service that's second to none. Now everyone can bank at Bethpage.
It's the Kia Summers on Us sales event. Summer's here and the time is right for savings. Right now, qualified buyers get 0% APR and no payments for 5 months on select Kias, like the rugged Sorrento, the sleek and high-tech Forte, the one-of-a-kind Soul, or the sporty Optima. Plus, right now, for a limited time, get $500 in Memorial Day savings and no payments for 5 months at the Kia Summers on Us sales event. Visit your local Kia dealer today.
17, we added 3 all-new ways to choose your thrill. Take a ride on Hershey Triple Tower and discover why happiness is best when shared. Buy tickets at HersheyPark.com.
This commuter alert is sponsored by your Tri-State Ford dealers.
The Buy Ford Now sales event is on. The best time to get into a new Ford. This Memorial Day, just sign and ride with 0 down, 0 due, and 0 first month's payment on a great selection of Ford cars, SUVs, and trucks. So get to the Buy Ford Now sales event this Memorial Day and just sign and ride. Only at your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Now lease an Explorer with 0 down, 0 due at signing, and 0 first month's payment. And now get $750 appreciation cash for military or first responders on top of all other offers.
It is shaping up to be a painful summer for commuters. That is what New York Governor Andrew Cuomo predicting about the upcoming Amtrak repairs at Penn Station. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie also talking about what commuters can expect. Eyewitness News reporter NJ Birkin live at Penn Station with all the messy details. NJ.
That's right, Dave. This is the New Jersey Transit waiting room here at Penn Station, which is the right word for it because commuters have been doing a lot of waiting here these days. And come this summer, they're going to be doing even more of it, which is why governors in both states are now scrambling to find alternatives and backup plans for tens of thousands of daily riders.
Riders say they're dreading the summer of 2017, when Amtrak will shut down several tracks to make urgent repairs in Penn Station.
There's enough stress in the city to, have to deal with the stresses of getting home to your families and so forth. So it's going to be very difficult.
Amtrak's repair work will begin in early July and run through the entire month of August. Nearly 2 months of misery that will force the Long Island Railroad to cancel up to 20% of its trains. Governor Cuomo says a number of alternatives are under consideration, including park and ride options and free bus service. New Jersey Transit is diverting an entire train line. Governor Chris Christie announced today that Midtown Direct service will terminate in Hoboken instead of Penn Station, that there will be enhanced ferry and bus service, that Hoboken ferries and path lines will cross-honor New Jersey Transit tickets, and he has ordered fare reductions of up to 60% for Midtown Direct riders.
I'm not happy about any of this, but the fact of the matter is we're going to either make these repairs now or we're going to make them later. But the repairs need to be made. I also am heartened by Amtrak's announcement last night that they are bringing in a private firm to supplement their work.
But tonight, both governors are skeptical, saying Amtrak cannot be trusted to finish all of this work on schedule. As for today's schedule, the trains seem to be running on time, at least for the moment. We're going to continue to follow the evening rush hour. We'll have another live report for you coming up tonight on Eyewitness News at 6. Live at Penn Station, NJ Birkin, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
At least for the moment. Famous last words you hate to say.
I know.
NJ, thank you. All right. We're going to head outside right now. Meteorologist Lee Goldberg is out there. And Lee, at moments, at times, you thought it might rain today, but we kind of lucked out.
And that moment's really the story of this entire forecast leading into the holiday weekend. Many of you have reached out. I want to stay in my deck. What's the window? How long can it be dry? Because it's kind of a minefield on the weather map. So I'll help you navigate through the dry windows and then when it's going to be wet, because it is a bumpy ride as we head closer to the weekend. A lot of clouds right now, no imminent rainfall. It's fairly mild. It's actually pretty pleasant with a very light to calm wind. And the high today so far in the upper 60s, trying to flirt to 70 degrees. Murray Hill, it's actually around 70. In the Bronx right now, 65 Belmar, basically middle to upper 60s, all huddled in that range. So lots of clouds. I don't think you need the umbrella during the early evening. I do think after maybe 10 or 11 o'clock, we need your umbrella, let's say Monmouth and Ocean County, and then it's probably after or close to midnight, New York City and points south and east. This rain is going to be focused closer to the coast. There'll be some northwest suburbs that don't see any more than just a sprinkle. Now on radar, it looks like some showers are trying to sneak into western New Jersey, but the the air is too dry right now. High pressure, a little bubble of it is sitting just to our north. So that's going to be holding off those showers that are sitting just offshore. The problem is there's another batch of rain, and that's over the mid-Atlantic. And part of that is going to be able to get in the area later on tonight, but at least not in the early evening. We should get a window of dry weather tomorrow afternoon after those showers leave in the morning. The dry window could actually start by late morning, but then rain on Thursday, that's going to be raw. It's going to be rainy and cool, and it'll probably linger into at least a part of Friday. Then I'm hoping we can dry out Friday afternoon. Couple of futurecasts for you showing that we're dry through early evening. Showers can start moving into the southern suburbs, central and southern New Jersey, 10, 11 o'clock to about midnight. And I want to go to a different futurecast because I think it depicts the early morning a little bit more accurately, where we just have some showers along the immediate coast beginning to pull away. So a bit of a damp start tomorrow, especially from the city south and east. Then clouds should break for a little sunshine during the afternoon hours, and it should be okay as temperatures approach 70 degrees. Now, Thursday's just pretty much a washout. It's cooler rain. I think we do have a steadier batch of rain in the morning, and then it gets more light and showery in the afternoon, but then there could be another round of rain at night, and that's why it keeps it kind of damp into Friday morning. I'm hoping for late breaks on Friday, so if you're planning a getaway, the midday and afternoon, things should start to improve. We're going to see a little sun on Friday. It's probably south of New York City, so maybe a better start to the holiday weekend on the Jersey Shore than we'll see on, let's say, the east end of Long Island or the Catskills. We'll still be trying to clear up there. So tonight, mainly cloudy. A little rain from the city south and east, mainly later on tonight. A little bit of a damp start, so a few of us will need the umbrella tomorrow morning, especially along the coast. Then clouds will break for a little sun. We'll make a run at that 70-degree mark, much of the day in the 60s. Becoming cloudy with rain arriving toward dawn, and we got our soaker on Thursday. Told you about Friday, hoping to dry out a little bit late. Saturday is your diamond in the rough. That's the best of the weekend. It consistently looked like the pick of the weekend. Then the question is the wettest time of the rest of the weekend Sunday night? Is it leaning more toward Sunday? It's really tricky timing with the Sunday Memorial Day weekend, so I'll have more on that in the 7-day AccuWeather forecast as I get some more information next half hour. I'll see you then.
Oh, I need that Saturday to forecast to work out.
Yeah, I think you're good with Saturday. That's the one thing I feel really good about.
Oh, let's see. We have a little special on kicking off summer.
Yes. You have had your challenges with weather.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. We're another nor'easter.
So windy at times there.
Oh, yeah. Kick off summer. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Blake. And coming up, we're going to tell you how to change your risk for breast cancer. New recommendations on which habits make a difference, and a surprising new take on something you may have thought was good for you.
Also, he was an iconic James Bond. We're going to remember actor Roger Moore next.
Dancing with the Stars winner, plus Chris Pine from Wonder Woman.
Would you ever do that for me?
Sure.
Next live.
Watch live.
Tomorrow morning at 9 on ABC7.
Toyota Time is the best time to get a great deal on an adventurous new RAV4 that's ready for any adventure.
Lease RAV4 for just $169 a month or get 0% APR for a full 60 months.
So come in now.
Toyota, let's go places.
Summer is around the corner. Get ahead this season with Raymore and Flanagan's Memorial Day sale. Every style on sale. Freshen any room with the best brands at low, low sale prices. Save up to 28% on living rooms, up to 21% on outdoor furniture, up to 25% on bedrooms, up to $1,000 off mattress sets. No interest for 72 months. The Memorial Day sale is going on right now at Raymore and Flanagan.
I love the countertops.
And I like the price. Yeah, we'll take it.
That feeling, only better. The satisfaction of getting more than you expected. A rear view camera, just one of over 30 enhanced features standard on the Volkswagen Jetta.
Hurry in and get 0.9% APR for 72 months plus a $1,500 Memorial Day bonus on new 2017 Jetta models.
New York State is on the move, out with the old and in with the new. Toll booths are going out and cashless tolling is coming in. It'll automatically read your Easy Pass or your license plate so you don't even have to slow down. And Easy Pass will save you up to 50%. Without it, you're going to get a bill in the mail and no discount. It's like throwing money out the window. So you can do this the hard way or the easy way.
Toyota time is one of the best times to get a great deal on a new Toyota. You can get 0% APR financing and great lease deals.
Like 0% APR for a full 60 months on Corolla, or lease Corolla for just $139 a month.
So come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Eyewitness News needs your help to protect our children. Have you seen Nayla? ABC-7 and your Tri-State Ford dealers thank you for helping protect our children.
Well, many saddened today over the loss of a movie icon. Actor Roger Moore, known for his appearances as James Bond and The Saint, has died at the age of 89 after a brief battle with cancer. Of the many actors who have taken on the Bond role, Moore is often remembered for bringing a mix of class and a lighter side to the super spy. Entertainment reporter Sandy Kenyon with a look back on his career.
My name's Bond.
The famous words were somehow more elegant
James Bond.
when he said them.
Call me James.
Roger Moore found a way to escape the shadow cast by Sean Connery, who had defined the role and tired of it.
Bond, what do you think you're doing? Keeping the British end up, sir.
Moore's 007 was relaxed with a sense of humor, best described as whimsical.
Where's Drax?
Oh, he had to fly.
One critic said Moore managed to find the joke in every situation, and the star told interviewers repeatedly that was by design.
Sean, as is Daniel Craig today, looks like a killer. I squeeze him to death in my eyes.
His first turn in the role would lead to half a dozen more, but he was already an accomplished actor by the time he became Bond. As Simon Templar, a modern-day Robin Hood, Moore was so suave many assumed he'd been born into the upper class. In fact, his father had been a cop. A career lasting an incredible 70 years took him to Buckingham Palace, where he was knighted by the Queen in 2003, not for his acting, but for his services to charity, especially to UNICEF. But for those who came of age 4 decades ago, Roger Moore will always remain the epitome of the debonair man so many of us lesser guys wanted to be.
Touche.
Roger Moore was like his friend Cary Grant in that both were strikingly handsome with a head-turning presence, but both stars also had a way of diffusing that by making fun of their image. Trade paper Variety notes today Moore would be known for his good humor and charm on set throughout his career. Dave and Liz?
Wow.
That was a great soundbite you used. Squeeze them to death with my eyes. That was great. Thank you so much, Sandy.
Thanks, Sandy. Well, it was made famous on the hit TV comedy Seinfeld. We'll tell you why the chief financial officer of the Soup Man Company is now under arrest and facing criminal charges.
And lawmakers considering making changes on who can board a passenger plane after this passenger was violently dragged off a United flight.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Raymore and Flanagan. For the closest location, visit RaymoreFlanagan.com.
Announcing Hyundai's Better Than Ever sales event. Come in now for the biggest savings in our 30-year history on select new Hyundais. Like up to $6,750 total savings on the 2017 Sonata.
Really? Wow.
And every new Hyundai comes with an amazing warranty.
America's best warranty.
Hurry in before the best offers in Hyundai history are, well, history. Better is the reason to buy Hyundai. Better than ever is the reason to buy now. Now through Memorial Day, lease a Sonata for only $129 a month or get up to $67.50 in savings. Hurry, these offers end May 31st.
At Optimum, we're having our summer sale early with our best internet deal ever. Get 100 megs of blazing fast internet for just $39.99 a month for 1 year guaranteed. Get twice the download speed of Fios for the same price. And based on an FCC report, Optimum delivers download speeds that outperform Verizon Fios. Plus, you'll get free Wi-Fi access. Call 866-200-6160 and get twice the download speed of Fios for the same price. Just $39.99 a month. Call now.
How would you sum up this car in one word?
Swanky.
Sexy. Sexy.
Luxurious.
Classy.
Fast, sporty,
Shop.
innovative.
Sleek luxury sedan.
Okay, that's more than one word.
This is the 2017 Chevy Malibu.
That's impressive. Where's the local dealer around here?
Or current qualified competitive lessees can get this Chevy Malibu for around $199 a month. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Fios built its 100% fiber optic network
because we knew that everyone would need faster internet. So we're introducing Fios Gigabit Connection. It delivers amazing new download speeds, up to 940 megs. That's 20 times faster and more powerful than most people have. Yes, 20 times. And the really incredible part is that it's $79.99 a month. And what's even more incredible is we included TV, HBO, and multi-room DVR service. Still, for $79.99 a month online for 1 year, and only $5 more per month for the second year. Get Fios Gigabit Connection for $79.99 with TV, HBO for 1 year, and multi-room DVR service for 2 years. All with a 2-year agreement. Switch now at fiosgigabit.com.
A horrific bombing at an Ariana Grande concert in Manchester, England. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Hanniger reports live from England. Stay with Channel 7 Eyewitness News for continuing coverage.
We're following some breaking news right now, and there are reports of gunshots being fired near Brooklyn College. This is in the Flatbush section. Eyewitness News reporter Shannon Stone is over the situation in Newscopter 7. Shannon.
And keep in mind that this is a very fluid situation right now. All of this still unfolding with the shots reported fired not very long ago. But what you are looking at down here is the end of what appears to be a crime scene here along Farragut Road. This is right in front of the residence hall at Brooklyn College. You can see a tremendous amount of police department activity. We're going to walk you through what we know at this point, and that's going to involve taking you to a different site. So we're just going to bring the camera shot over. The original call came in to police that shots were fired over at 2705 Campus Road, and you can see that coming into your picture right there. So we have a secondary crime scene over there, but all of this ended over here at Farragut Road, where police have one suspect in custody. They have also recovered a gun. At this point, we do not have any victims reported, but we do have one suspect in custody. We had police aviation overhead doing a search as well, and we're just going to bring up Street Spotter 7 so you can see Farragut Road completely shut down between Flatbush Avenue all the way through to Bedford Avenue with this police department activity. So an active scene that is happening right in front of Brooklyn College. But again, they do have one suspect in custody. Reporting live over Brooklyn, Shannon Stone, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Shannon, thanks. We'll stay on top of that story. The other story we're following this half hour, the latest on the Manchester terror attack. Thousands gathered in the city to remember the nearly 24 people killed last night, many of those victims children.
Yeah, some of those who survived the blast at the Ariana Grande concert say the security there was haphazard. Still not clear how the suicide bomber was able to enter the arena without being detected. Eyewitness News reporter Joe Torres is in the newsroom this afternoon with the very latest on the concert. Joe.
Liz, we've just learned the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI hosted a call with law enforcement agencies across the United States. Why? They want to lay out what they know so far about the attack. Homeland Security says it has no plans at this moment to significantly improve security measures or increase security measures here in the United States, since we're already at a high state of alert. Here's what we know about the suspected suicide bomber responsible for the blast. Authorities identified him as 22-year-old Salman Abedi, a Briton of Libyan descent. The Islamic State group claimed responsibility for the attack, though a top American intelligence official said the claim could not be verified at this time. British police raided 2 sites and arrested a 23-year-old man. As police questioned that person and gather evidence at the area of the explosion, people who survived are still dealing with the aftermath of it all. Parents and children who enjoyed a concert by their favorite young artist are right now struggling with the screams they heard and the chaos they endured.
She's devastated. For her to, at 10 years old, to witness something like that is just horrific. Ariana had just literally finished her last song. We was getting ready to leave the arena and get our belongings together, and next minute we just heard this almighty bang coming from the left-hand side of the arena. At that point, everyone just went crazy and was running and screaming and trying to get out and jumping over seats. We managed to get through the doors, and how we wasn't crushed to death is a miracle.
Now today, efforts to help the victims who survived the horror. People hit the streets of Manchester near the arena. They held signs that read, "Manchester, I love you," And banners across the city read, "Manchester, our thoughts are with you." Here in New York and across the country, the thoughts of so many Americans are tonight with the people of Manchester. David and Liz.
Joe, thank you. And we're learning more about the victims of this deadly attack. You can read their stories on our website, WABC-NY.
Well, police making an arrest in an attempted rape in Brooklyn earlier this month. 20-year-old Christopher Clemente faces charges including attempted rape and sexual abuse. Investigators say Clemente groped a woman on the N train at the Bay Parkway station. When she got off the train to get away, police say he followed her, dragging her to the ground and tried to rape her. The woman screamed for help, and the suspect took off. The police say a grandmother was badly beaten by a total stranger on the Lower East Side. It happened at Forsyth and Stanton Streets Saturday morning. She had gone out to collect cans for recycling to make extra money. Police say 24-year-old Devin Brown beat the woman unconscious, then rifled through her pockets. The victim's now in critical condition. Brown is facing several charges, including first-degree assault.
Well, a new bill has been proposed in Chicago that it would prevent all city personnel from boarding airplanes to remove passengers. The measure would only allow workers, including aviation police, to come aboard planes for criminal matters or medical emergencies. It was introduced after the video surfaced showing a doctor being violently dragged off a United Airlines plane in the city last month. We all recall that video. Supporters of the bill say it will stop incidents just like that one.
Our employees should not be assisting airport, airline employees in doing their dirty work.
The 3 Chicago aviation officers and the supervisor involved in that United incident have been suspended pending the outcome of an investigation.
Well, this may be the last summer beachgoers will be able to light up a cigarette in 2 New Jersey cities. Both cities are considering ordinances that would make it illegal to smoke along 38 blocks of boardwalk beginning on January 2018. Wildwood votes on the no smoking law on Wednesday, and North Wildwood votes on June 7th. Now, anyone with a lit cigarette in North Wildwood could get a $250 fine. And in Wildwood, violators would face a fine of up to $1,000 or 90 days in jail.
Well, many women like to come home and enjoy a glass of wine here and there, but could having that glass of wine and other alcoholic beverages increase a certain risk of type of cancer? We're going to tell you what a new study is now saying.
Plus, a young woman becomes trapped underwater in a sinking car. How first responders were alerted and how they made that dramatic rescue.
And I'm meteorologist Lee Goldberg. A pleasant afternoon and early evening in progress. A lot of clouds, couple sprinkles, but they're really not reaching the ground. There is some rain off to the south, so let's time it. Right now it'll be a dry evening rush, and then as we go through, let's say midnight, there'll be some showers that get into Ocean County, probably into New York City between 2 and 4 in the morning. Little damp for the morning commute, and then we'll start to dry out a little bit. Boy, rain chances, they're there almost every day the next 5 days, except for Saturday. That's the gem of the holiday weekend. We'll get through the rest of the rain. I'll time that for you in the 7-day active weather forecast. That's next on First at 4.
Now, Boston's cobblestone Acorn Street is the most photographed street in the country.
Really? Do you mind if I take a picture?
No, of course not.
Do you mind?
Real Salutes Boston. Tonight at 7:30.
Only on ABC7.
The #1 advance in prostate cancer treatment in a decade is CyberKnife. And there's only one CyberKnife in all of Manhattan. NYU Winthrop's NY CyberKnife. It's as effective as surgery, but with no pain, no incontinence, and less risk of impotence. The NYU Winthrop NY CyberKnife Center on Amsterdam and 66th, home to the #1 CyberKnife prostate cancer team in the country. NYU Winthrop's NY CyberKnife, Manhattan's one and only. NYU Winthrop Hospital. Your health means everything.
How would you sum up this car in one word?
Swanky.
Sexy.
Sexy.
Luxurious.
Classy. Fast. Sporty.
Shop.
Innovative. Sleek luxury sedan.
Okay, that's more than one word.
This is the 2017 Chevy Malibu.
That's impressive. Where's the local dealer around here?
Or current qualified competitive lessees can get this Chevy Malibu for around $199 a month. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
This is our Colby sofa and love seat, only $799. And this is our competitors. Same look, but a whopping $17.99.
Ours has contemporary flair, coordinating toss pillows, all with Bobopedic memory foam seating for extreme comfort.
And of course, an untouchable value, $7.99.
And this is about how much sofa $7.99 will get you at our competitors.
Dare to compare at Bob's Discount Furniture.
Sorry about the holdup, folks. We have some congestion on the runway, and I'm being told it'll be another 15, maybe 20 minutes, and we will have you on your way.
Runway models on the runway? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Evan saved by switching to Geico.
I would not wear that lace. I don't know.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Addiction is a disease. It can happen to anyone. Help is within reach. All you need to do is ask.
I was a full-blown heroin addict, selling my soul to get high. But I got help. And you can too.
Just know I didn't want to feel that pain anymore. I got help. You can too.
Most people think addicts are beyond help. When I see an addict, I see hope.
Don't suffer. Don't wait. Call 844-REACH-NJ or visit reachnj.gov.
Four stores are falling at floor right now. Governor Cuomo says planned Amtrak repairs at Penn Station will make for a, quote, summer of hell. Amtrak plans on shutting down several tracks for urgent repairs in early July through August. That work is now forcing Long Island Railroad and New Jersey Transit to come up with new alternatives for commuters.
President Trump is now in Europe as he continues his overseas trip. He arrived in Rome this afternoon with the First Lady. The president's set to meet with Pope Francis tomorrow at the Vatican.
The president's budget arrived on Capitol Hill back home in Washington. The estimated $4.1 trillion spending plan begins the fiscal year October 1st. The budget comes with some major cuts to Obamacare, Medicaid, food stamps, student loan subsidies, highway funding, and the EPA.
And remembering a movie icon, actor Roger Moore, known for his appearances as James Bond in The Saint, has passed away. The British actor died after a short battle with cancer. Moore was 89 years old.
Well, now to today's health alert. You may want to think twice before having a drink to unwind. New research shows it may increase your risk of breast cancer. A new report from two major cancer research groups analyzed more than 100 studies, including 12 million women. It found drinking just one alcoholic beverage a day raised the risk of breast cancer by about 5% in premenopausal women. And the chances went up even higher to about 9% in women who have already gone through menopause. Well, this next story, really nothing short of remarkable. That is how a family from California is describing a dramatic rescue of their daughter who was trapped underwater in a sinking car. Sutter County police say 27-year-old Travis Stanton was drunk when he flipped a car into a canal. He escaped, but Megan Russell, she was still inside that car. Stanton told first responders that he was just out swimming, but they quickly found the car. They were able to pull Russell out. Initially, she was not breathing, but they were able to revive her. Russell's father says he can't thank first responders enough.
Everybody says, you know, they believe in God. There's a God. There's a God. Otherwise, this wouldn't happen.
Russell's father also says he is confident that justice will eventually be served.
We are following more breaking news that are broken moments ago. We told you about shots being fired in Flatbush. Now, just short distance away in East Flatbush, we've got Newscopter 7 over a fire that you can see. Shannon Sohn covering it for us. Shannon, I can see the flames just peeking out. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, the flames are licking out the side of this building on Linden Boulevard between East 53rd and East 54th Streets. You can obviously see that one of the problems here is how close in proximity this other house is. But this is a 5-story apartment building, and we've been seeing people coming down the fire escapes. One woman was holding a baby, but it's been really interesting to watch. This fire department just responding to the scene. They are literally running into the building, and pedestrians, regular residents, have been going up the fire escape to help people down. We've seen several children coming down from 5th floor apartment buildings, a mother holding a baby, and you can see just since we've been over the scene, the smoke has gotten much more thick. Now, they have just put a tower ladder up. It is not yet in operation, and the fire department is making its way into the building, but just in the last few minutes, this fire has gotten much, much worse. You can see the fire department is now on the roof of the building, and they've made their way into that alleyway as well, but it does appear that they are trying to get into the building to let residents know that they need to get down, but they are using those fire escapes. So far, no injuries reported, no word as to what caused this fire, but it started within the last few minutes, and the fire department has their work cut out for them. This is a tough spot to get to, but they are doing what they can, and of course, we will keep you updated on the latest. Reporting live over East Flatbush, Shannon Stone, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.